class today. And if I'm going to urge us all is let's practice, right? Let's practice. If it's little, we can practice. If it's 5 minutes per day, 10 minutes per day, let's practice, right? It is what we practice that will be permanent with us. You practice 5 minutes today, you practice 5 minutes tomorrow. What was complicated yesterday, what was complex yesterday, keep on getting simpler and easier to us, right? So that just you don't run from any area of your learning that you feel like is hard. Just create time to always learn it, right? And that's just what I have to say. I hope we all have our SQL server installed. If you have our SQL server installed, can we react? Can I see us react? We have our
No,
SQL
they
server
don't.
installed. Wow.
No, they
Okay.
don't. Yeah.
Okay. So please, since today's introduction, before the next class, please, I will share some links so we can try to get our SQL server installed. So, but for now, there is SQL Server Management Studio 2021. I think I installed that on my official laptop last week, right? But for the sake of seamless integration and all, so I just want us to install the 2020, right? SMS 20. So by then, you can easily upgrade to version 21 on our own. Is that clear, everybody? Is that fine by us all? Hello? Is that cool by us?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
All
yes, it
right.
is.
Okay, great. These are areas that we'll be looking at in our SQLs today, right? We talk around various data type, terms used in SQL, keys and constraints. These are something we're already familiar with. If you have heard of data validation, that's exactly similar what we are talking about in SQL. I'm working on database. We'll be showing ourselves how to create database, how to create table in a database and lots and sometimes like fields, attributes, records, files that are being used in SQL. We'll be exploring that area too. Let me try to hide this then. Okay, so when we talk of database, it comes from the name itself. We can actually decode the meaning of a words of a database. If we separate these words where we have data and base, means what? Database. So when we talk of base is just like a joint, just like a fault, right? My friend's joint, my friend base, right? Customer base, soldier base. Yeah, exactly. That's what we mean when we talk about database. So when we talk about database, what does it mean? Like a base that is full of data, a location that is full of what? That is just data that will just be seen there. That's just the meaning of database, right? So anytime we see any complex like this in tech, maybe in our data analytics, let's just try to split them. Data, what is data? You already know the meaning of data. What is base? Base is just like an accommodation, an apartment that contains something. So when we say database, means a base that is full of what? Full of data, where data is stored, right? So giving it a formal definition, we talk about that database is what? Is a structured information where you can store your data in rows and columns, right? It helps you to able to manage your business data effectively. Not like your data is just scattered around, right? Because business tends to generate tons of data every second. Let me use every second self. Imagine you are using maybe GT app or OPay. Imagine numbers of people that are making transfer every time, that are buying real time, that are buying this every seconds, right? That's rate at which business generate data. And this requires them to be able to see how can we manage this data that we are generating every seconds, so that when the needs come arrive for us to come and manage it, maybe they want to analyze, oh, how many transactions did we do today? How many new users did we have? How many people sign up? How many transactions failed? They have what? They have the data that speaks to them, and they are properly organized inside somewhere called what? Database. That's just simply of what database is for us. You can see your database like you arranging your clothes inside your wardrobe. So that anytime you have an outing, you have a dinner, you have a party, event, you can easily go inside your wardrobe and pick the right shoes, the right shirt, the right ties, and all that you needed. Exactly. That's how database is. Is the meaning of database clear to us, or is it clear to us now, everybody? Hello, you're not responding. No. All right.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, I'll proceed. So when we talk of database management system, which is what we call DBMS, right? Is is a software that now help us to interact with our database, right? With database management system now we can easily manage our data itself. So database management system serve as let me say an intermediary between the user, which we call the client side. Client side just the computer side which the user interact with, and the data itself, where our data is sitting in the database. So through this database management system, you can easily interact with our database. Oh, give us our record for last week, give us our record for last year. You can easily do all those, because companies sometimes can have one or two databases that they are working with, maybe local, foreign, that they are working with interchangeably. So you want to be able to manage all the database that you have in your organization. With the aid of this database management system, you can easily what? You can easily manage them. Just like you have let me say something I can say, you create a folder, yeah, for different picture, maybe this folder for school, this folder for family, this folder for work, this folder for tech, so anytime you want to manage, anytime you want to access any information relating to any specific area, you already know where to go, where you're able to store them, that makes them easier for you to access. And that is where database management system comes in. Business can have 7, 10 databases anywhere they like, but with the aid of database management system, it can help you to work with them from an holistic point of view. That's just what database management system does, right? And we have some popular database DBMS. I'm sure they are not new to us. If they are new to us, we'll be getting ourselves familiar with them today. We have MySQL, we have Microsoft Access. Microsoft Access is part of or a Microsoft product, right? When we talk of Microsoft, we talk of Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, OneNote, and so more. Then we have SQL Server, which is what we'll be using today. And we have what we called Oracle, right? We have Progress too. There are even more. There is MariaDB and all. But that just to mention of so we have properties, right? And we have what we call the relational database and we have the non-relational database. And anytime we hear of relational database, right, let's see it as the type of database where our data is well structured. Our data is always in row and column. Very simple. Just the way that we have our data in Excel that is very structured, right? That's an example of what a relational database. Our data is always stored in rows and is always stored in column. I will be showing us sample as we proceed during the course of our learning, right? So when we talk of relational database, there is something that makes it different from non-relational database, which is what ability to establish connection between what one or two tables, right? I'll be showing us what we call entity relationship diagram, right? That's what we call data modeling in our Power BI, right? How many of us know the part model view in Power BI? How many of us know that interface? Hello,
Say that again,
we are not
please.
responding. How many of us know the model view in our Power BI? We don't know model view in our Power BI. Okay.
We know it.
So with the aid of a relational database, you can actually create a relationship. And what is the impact of this relationship? Now let me now explain to us so that we can know. That is why that there are many tables that you are going to have inside your database, and you need to create a relationship between one or two tables. An example of this is that if you've worked in an e-commerce company or in a fintech company, you notice that, or if you want to order from these two people, fintech or bank or e-commerce company, you cannot order a stock that is less than or equals to zero, you cannot buy them. Just like you cannot withdraw higher than the money that you have in your bank account. You cannot have 1,000 naira now in your bank account and you should be withdrawing 2,000 naira. It's not possible. So something that is up there is the relational database. They created the relationship between withdrawal table and your balance table, such that you're saying that, oh, if this person wants to withdraw, he should not withdraw higher than the amount that is here. Just like if you want to order as well, you cannot order a product that is zero quantity. That's exactly how relational database management works. And we see more of relational database management more of in banks, right? We see more of all this in banks. When we have a non-relational database management system, though it's not common, but that doesn't stop us from not knowing what is a NRDBMX, right? We need to have idea of it, not just I want to learn how to write codes. We need to know things surrounding it, right? Not that in future, in next few months, they'll be talking about no SQL, then we'll be asking that, me, I did not hear it, I only know of SQL. No, right? Even though it's not the area of focus, right? But we still just need to have an idea of what this concept is all about when we talk of type of database we have. We have a non-relational database, and the type of data there is different. Yes, okay, I have sample I'll be showing us. I wanted to show us one script before. The type of way data being organized in a non-relational database is far different from the way data is being organized in a relational database. We have more of our type being in JSON file, right? That's when we talk of just JavaScript object notation. Right, that's just the meaning of the JSON. So don't worry about when we in case you be hearing of JSON. Then we have our data being stored in key and pairs, key values and pairs. When we talk of, I don't know if anybody have idea of Python dictionary, right? If you have seen a simple of Python dictionary, you always see key, you always see values. That's exactly the way data inside. Let me show us a sample of a key as peer value. Let me see if I have. Let me stop sharing. I'm coming. So I want us to. So the case some of us must have been seeing that sample before. Yeah. And some of us must have been seeing that sample before. Okay. Yes. So I got a perfect example I can use to show us. Are we together, everybody? Hello? Are we together?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So this is when we talk of I'm trying to zoom in on this is my visual code though. How they zoom in here? So when we talk of value key and pair, this is an example of what we are saying. This is an example of how it looks like. Data in NoSQL comes in shaped like this. I will be showing us the other side, which is the JSON. We've seen that on the part of the slide. The data are not always in row and column, just like how we have it in our Excel, right? So this is how when we talk of key and pairs, this is what we actually talk, which means that at any point in time we call Abia, these two values here get executed. These two values get executed. Anytime I call Adamawa now, these two values get executed, right? That just it for that part, right? Let me share back my slide. So that's how a non-relational database look like. But if you want to know a relational database, exactly what you always type in your Excel, that's just an example of your relational database. Always in the row and column. That just it. So always have your row, you always have your column, A5, A6, right? And popular name that we call for a non-RDBMS is what we call no SQL. That's just what we call what no SQL. So it's a flexible uh database. I think they use it more for when we talk of all the social media and complex application, right? And we can also try to read more on it to get ourselves familiarized about it, right? And I expect us to always come to class with jotters, right? To note down some concepts. Oh, I need to go and read more about this. Oh, what is the just watch one maybe 5 minute or 2 minute video on a new concept, right? Or maybe a concept the validator did not even go deeper. You can just go there to have a robust understanding about it. So this is an example of how it looks like, similar to what I showed us then, right? Sample what I showed us was a script for scraping data, weather data. Yeah. So we needed that to work for forecast sales and production forecast. So this is an example of how this folders looks like. How many of us have seen something like this before? The inauguration. How many of us have seen something like this before? Hello. How many of us?
Yeah, I've seen it
Let's
before.
respond now. Okay, yeah. So
It
that's when
it
talk of
looks
this
like
thing. So
HTML.
yes, if you have done something similar to JavaScript or a small of programming, yeah, you'll see some of these things, right? They are not new. So each box here represents one person. So there is a way such that you can create an object of this student. So you can easily call this ID and say student.id1. Then it's going to execute all the names. So if you want to see the age, if you want to see the name, just call the name, right? That's how you can easily access each value. So everything that we have here too, it's just the same way that we have it on a row here. But because it's a non-relational database, this is how it works, right? This is just more of when we talk of object-oriented programming, right? OOP. So that's when it just tends to know about some of all these concepts, right? Just for us to have idea, we'll be working more around relational database, but I find it being fit to for us to be aware of, oh, that is this side of tech. Yeah. That's why we are here to learn. So that it's not just to learn what you know, what you want to know. Things that we just need to have idea of. Right. Yeah. So what is SQL? So when we talk of SQL, that's the language of database. That's the way that I'm speaking English to converse to you. Same way when you want to talk to your data inside your database. This is the language. Who can tell us the language of Power BI? Who can tell us the language of Power BI? Who can tell us the language of Power BI? Who can tell us the language of Power Query?
M script.
Okay, M script. What of Power BI? That's good, right? Thank you for your response.
DAX.
DAX. Okay, great. Full meaning of DAX.
Data analysis expression.
Awesome. Great. So exactly the language you are writing for each of them, that's how SQL to is. So whenever you are in SQL, just know that they are talking around database. Oh, where is the SQL query? Where is the SQL? This just know that anything like that is around what is around database, right? So that's just the summary of what we are seeing here. So I want to talk to my data, and all of us indirectly, we're actually working with SQL, just that we are not working with the back end of it. Yes. You are trying to check your bank statements for last month. What you are doing is your database. You are writing query, but you don't know because the program already programmed it at the back end, but you are not seeing it. You are selecting dates, start date and end date. Everything that you are doing there is around SQL, but we won't know because we are not coming from the developer side. Yeah, we are coming from the user side of a solution. If you are coming from developer side, now you're able to see that there are some query that is saying, okay, get this Mr. Paul bank statement from this date to this date. It's just an SQL at the back end, but we won't know. But when we start writing queries now, most of us now understand how some of all these things works. That's why I noticed that your post on Facebook for 15 years ago is still there. You can still go and say see more, see more, see more, see more, and you're able to still go to your what? To that your post of 15 years, 10 years ago that you are looking for. Everything is just around the what SQL because that's where your data is being stored. Anything that deals with data being stored. And also let me add this. We have different, should I say different type of query? Should I use that term? Don't let me use that term. Let me say syntax. Yeah, let me use syntax. It's fine. Syntax is just like how will I put syntax you can understand? Let me say the English. How will I put it so that we can understand? We have different SQL syntax depending on the DBMS that you are using. And what am I saying is this. If you talk of Yoruba, Hausa, do you know that inside Yoruba there are still some language inside Yoruba? Ekiti have his own language, Isheyin has his own language. I don't know, Igbo too will have something like that. Am I right? Hello?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, so that's exactly where we talk of writing queries. You can write a query for SQL Server, it might not work in progress. It might not work in MySQL, might not work in Oracle, but it is still the same with SQL that we are like. It's just a little difference. Let's say, for example, in progress now, you can't do top two or anything top, but you can use limits in progress SQL, and I think MySQL, you can use limits. But in SQL Server, for you to be able to do anything limit, you have to use top. Right? So just little difference. So either you learn the SQL query for SQL Server or for Progress. Everything you're learning is the same thing. Just little difference that it is what that is different. So if somebody tell you that, do you know how to write SQL query? Yes. I say I know how to write SQL Server. They say, can you not write Progress? Don't say you cannot write Progress, so because they're actually the same thing. Just literally syntax, or let me say the way we calculate some things in SQL Server now is different from the way it's been calculated in MySQL or Progress. Maybe in terms of date, extracting date, it's different from each other. So it's just something you can actually read up, or give your queries to ChatGPT. Oh, give me this query in Progress format. Give me this query in MySQL, and it will give you your results, right? So don't be scared of that. So why is SQL important? SQL helps us to manage our data management. It helps us to have something called data security. Yes, which means that you can you can give rights. Yes, let me use that term, which we call authorization and authentication. Right? Oh, this is what this person can do. This is who can come here. Right? That's just what we mean by data security. How many of us remember this First Bank case that was told that one of the top management there went with whole sum of money? Was it last year or 2 years ago? Something billion of dollars on ATM transaction or transfer transaction. How many of us remember that case? Hmm? How many of us?
Yeah.
So example of something that is happening just around data security, because the person is the only one that have access to it. So in an organization, they use SQL to give, they created the login now for you. They will give you a role. Many people can go and delete nonsense from the company database, right? And that is why SQL comes in. FL will tell you, no, you don't have permission. Just like how will I put it? Just like you have some, should I say some location, or maybe in church, in our religious organization, there are some seats that you cannot sit. Some seats are some top people, right? Likewise, when we talk of database too, everybody in an organization cannot just have ability to read, to write to the database. Some people just need to have only view. Just the way that you always share your Google Sheets too, that you share to people view, or your Google Drive view once, you only share people view access. You can share some people comment, you can share some people contributor. Yeah, same things when we talk of here to around data security. You can only give some people roles of what they want to, and when the need arise, you do it. If you have worked around ERP, enterprise resource planning before, there are some things that I can do. Example now, I can request, but I cannot approve. Who can approve is my HOD, my line manager. Even my line manager has limits what he can approve, even has certain level of money that he can approve. That's when we talk of around data security. That data integrity. Data integrity comes to ensure that whatever data that go inside that database is facts. Example where I say now is, if you mistakenly send money now, bank, you no go and meet bank that, no, I want to send 5,000 naira, but you made me to send 50,000 naira. No, they will tell you that you put your password. Oh, you see it. We tell you that, do you want to send so money to so. You say yes, so you cannot go bank. That's why I know anybody that mistakenly send outrageous amount cannot go to bank and say, your app made me to send this to. No, because why? Bank have ensured that your data, everything from the beginning, there is integrity. There's nothing like you are not aware. Just like you say you want to change your phone number now, or you want to change your address, you will sign. You'll be, as you are filling one form, you'll be signing. Not that you will come tomorrow and tell them that I don't know what happened. Oh, somebody, they will bring out the phone. Are you not so? Is this not your signature? Now let me share my experience with you around that way. There was the time GT Bank told me I need to go and upgrade my account, that I should go and submit my NIN. Upon getting to the bank, they said the name of my NIN is not in my bank, that my middle name is not in my bank account. I said it's not possible. I told the I told the customer agent that no, I know my full name I've been using from the onset. I said, okay, let me see the form that I fill when I joined the bank. The person just turned the system to me. Lo and behold, I saw that I wrote the name and I strike it out. Hello, are we get what I'm saying? Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we are
So
with you.
that's exactly when we talk around data integrity. So it's not like anything you are doing that relating to database, that will always be your name there, that you authorize it. That's why they easily catch people with fraud in an organization. They will trace people, because one person can not only do fraud. Each person's name, each person's ID will be there. So it'll be showing. So they can easily catch people because of what? Because of data integrity, right? Database SQL give us the ability to retrieve our data. Just like I was saying that you can request for your 2 month ago bank statement. You can request for your 5 month ago, but I think 6 months is the max or something, right? That's exactly what data retriever is. Oh, we want to see the product for last month. We want to see what and what here. You see it. You want to see your spending. You see it, because that's just what our data retriever. So we have the last one, which is database design and structure. So when you talk of database design, see it as if you want to build your house. You don't just build your house anyhow. You sit down with your architect, abi architect, who those that draw this house plan, or maybe with your surveyor that will measure the land. Then you call your architect, oh, see the drawing that I want to, I want to have laboratory, I want to have 2 shop, I want to have this, exactly like that too. With SQL we can design all these things. Oh, we want to have 5 tables, we want to have 3 tables. This is what will be our primary key, this is what will be our foreign key, this is how this table will be related to each other, this is how the flow will go. If this one does not relate to this one should not work. Yeah, you design everything with your SQL. Is it clear, everybody? Any questions so far? Any questions so far?
No.
All right, great, thank you. So I've spoken around this already though, but just to recap, type of SQL that we have, this is a sign for Postgres. In case we don't know Postgres, this is a sign for Postgres. This is Oracle. This is MySQL. This is SQL Server, which is what we'll be using, right? These are the type of non-relational database that we have, and you can work with anyone. Once you just know how to speak SQL language, you can actually write any of the queries, right? And these are the type of non-RDBMS. They are more of robust. When we talk of large data companies are generating, right? They come more in more of all these styles, right? Unstructured, semi-data, unstructured and semi-structured data. Talk of your fingerprint, talk of your face recognition, voice recognition. These are unstructured and semi-structured, right? So you can read up on this thing. What is unstructured data? What is semi-structured data, right? So that we can have idea of what some of what the data is all about, right? I'll not be able to go extensively to all this, right? Because it's just an introductory class to us. So what are the terms that we use in SQL, right? So we need to get ourselves familiarized. So when I'm saying one, you should not be, I've not heard of that before. When I'm saying ER, you should not be saying I've not heard of it before, right? So it's very key that we get ourselves familiarized with those terms. So when we talk of bits, that's the smaller units of what data representation. How many of us remember computer memory that they taught us in school? How many of us remember? How many of us remember computer memory they taught us in school? How many of us remember when we have this 1024 is equals to 1 megabyte, 1000 megabyte is equals to 1 gigabyte? Yeah, that's it. So just like the way we have it too, is what are related to our SQL too. So every time you are storing data, it has a should I say a weight or unit of measurement too. And that unit of measurement is what we call what bits. So as much as you are seeing your data in a it has a what? It has a weight being assigned to the let me just use that, and that's the unit, the smallest unit of data representation. So the more your data now, you now start having database of 1.2 MB. So just know that it started from having these bits, right? Started from we have something called records. So give us our sales record. Give us our sales record. That was say, oh, bring me Paul's record, which means that they want to see something entirely about Paul. Just like the way they talk around maybe at work. Oh, let's see his record. Maybe you're able to see his name, when he joined the school, just something around that, right? That's also when we talk about record. I'm trying as much as possible to use things that we see daily, far beyond the English that we can see on my screen. So you can say, I want to see my records, maybe health medical records. They will say, oh, Gbalogba, when was the last time he came for treatment? When was the last time he did this, he did that? So able to see everything. When was he promoted? When was he transferred? So a lot of things will be shown inside your record. His state of origin, his gender, his phone number. You see all those ones in that person's record, right? Example next is fields or attributes. That's when we talk of a data that describe an entity. How many of us know what we call dimension table? How many of us know what we call dimension table?
Hello.
Yes, how many of us know what we call dimension table?
I do. I know us.
Yeah, so when we hear of something around field and attribute, so are just something that describe an entity. An entity now can be a table, maybe customer, maybe product. An entity can even be me. Oh, talk about Paul. He's dark, he's fair, he's 2 meter long, he's this, he's a talkative, he's not a talkative, he's not gentle, he's gentle, he loves shirts, he loves sneakers. Those are just an attribute of Paul. Let's say like saying characteristics of Paul. Yeah, when I talk of those characteristics, deal down to talking about what fields or attributes. I intentionally put this field and attribute because to aid student comprehension. Because normally when we want to talk around when we talk around database management, can just make mention of attributes. Attributes speak more professional, but people tends to forget. Then I can just say, okay, fields. If you can remember fields, then it's the same thing we are saying. It's just a particular part of it, maybe like your gender. If I'm mentioning a customer table now, there are some things that in the customer table you are expecting: the name of the customer, the phone number of the customer, the location of the customer. You cannot see product ID in a customer table. It's wrong. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes, you
Hello.
are.
Exactly. So that's what we,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's exactly when we talk of attributes. Is always tailored to a particular entity. To entity means table here now. It's always tailored to a particular entity. So we have next one called key. So I'm sure you must have heard of foreign key or primary key. You must have heard of this, right? These are what will make us to identify this person. Oh, what joined this organization today? They are going to give me an ID, which is maybe ID 101. So which means that anywhere they see ID 101, they know that it is Paul. Or they give you an ID. Your account number is your primary key, your BVN. What else can be your primary key? Your phone number, your house number in your area can be a primary key. That's also when we talk of key. Key is just anything that can uniquely identify somebody that is special to you. Just like maybe when you want to go to bank and queue now, they will give you 1, 2, 3. So whatever number that you pick is peculiar to. So whenever they call that number, you come out and say, "Oh, this is me." So just something that is representing you, right? That's what we mean by key. Is that clear, everybody? Is it clear to us? Is it clear? Any questions so far? All
Yes.
right. All right, great. So we have what we call table. I'm sure most of us know table. Table that you are importing inside your Power BI, table you are importing inside your Power Query, your sales table, customer table. So that's what we are saying here. So it just sound like what we call an object. That's what we call an object in your database. So I'm sure we already get ourselves familiar with it. I will not be dressing much on table. So we have another one called files. When we talk of file, that's a group of related records. Group of what? Group of related records. Files are frequently classified by the application for which they are used by employee file. So they can say want to see our audit file for 2025. Audit file for 2025 will be more robust than record. Right? File is more robust. File can be bigger, whereby it will contain people's name. Give me our employee record now. It will contain many staff. It's different from saying being pause record, right? It's just record is just should I say like something like a subset. File is always bigger than this record because file is is how would I put it, one or two records. Yeah, let me use that term so that we can get it now. Employee file. So when I say employee file, that means all the employee in the business. If there are 200, that means all their file will be on the table, right? So that's why you say that when you talk of ministry, they've not given your file to the what, to the permanent secretary, which means that there are many people that they want to drop their file along to, that they are waiting for it to be up to the numbers so that the PM can sign. That's what we are saying here too, right? We have something we call schema, and I think this schema, when I start the explanation, I will show how schema works, right? So that we can have, I don't want to explain the schema in abstract. But for us to be able to understand it very well before we get there is that schema is logical view of your data or your table inside your database. And what is schema like is you trying to partition a table inside your database. You know that you can divide your there are some houses that will stay those days. We divide the room. The room is very big. We can divide the room to room and parlour, right? Yeah, exactly how schema is. So you can separate and say, oh, anybody that is here, oh, this is where you belong. Any other person, oh, this is where you belong. That's where schema what? That's where schema comes in. Hello, are you following me?
Yes.
So when we talk of schema, like I don't want to explain in abstract, you cannot have the same table name under the same schema. Let's say for example now employee table, or let me say employee table now. I can only have that employee table once under one schema. Let's say for example I'm creating a schema for production. Maybe I'm working on a manufacturing database now. I can create an employee table under production schema. Now I will have my employee table. Then if I'm creating another schema called sales schema, I can have my employee table too, that is called what? Sales schema. I can have that employee table inside that sales, which means that anytime I need any table speaking to employee in sales, I will work with the schema of sales. If I need the employee that work on that production, I will work with the schema of what? Of production. Even though they are the same what? They are the same table name, but they are not in the same schema. That's why that if you work around database before, or even your Excel sheet sef, if you have a name of a sheet already on your Excel sheet, if you try to rename it, it will not to the existing one, it will already help you to add two to it. That's just something around schema. That's just a bit of meaning I can use to explain schema to you. Notice that you are creating your measure in Power BI now. You won't be able to use that same name again unless you change it. Yeah, that's just an example of how we can understand schema, right? Relationship. Yes, when we talk of relationship, I'm sure you must have had the idea of all this in your Power BI. When we talk of many to many, talk of what was even the example I used for many to many then? So many to many people. I cannot even remember again. I think I was using, I can't remember the example I used for many to many. One to many is an example of a mother to her children, right? A mother to like children of three, right? Many to one, a father and mother to one child, right? So something like that. That's our relationship of is in SQL, and I'll be showing us how this relationship as well looks like. For most time, it's always good to work with either many to one or many to many, so that your report that you be getting will actually be correct. Right? There won't be understatement or overstatement of output with your result. Then we have our ER diagram. So this is visual representation of what, of our database, just like a house map. an architectural drawing of design. Before bricklayer will come, they will ask, oh, where is the design? Where is the house plan of this house? That's why I noticed that some houses they demolish them after 20 years because they are not in the diagram of the state. That's exactly how your diagram is too. So your diagram helps us to understand how this table is connecting to each other. Oh, this table is depending on this. Oh, this is the table that is powering all the tables. Oh, when data is coming, oh, this is table it will first of all go before entering here. How many of us have worked with ERP before? How many of us have worked with ERP before? How many of us in organization? How many of us have worked around ERP before? Hello? Nobody?
I'm just hearing for the first time.
Okay. So there's something we call ERP in an organization. They use it to manage entire business operation, or let me say business process. So from your ERP now, there are some things that you must do for the next person to do it. Example now is I want to collect money for finance. Let's say for example I traveled and they want to pay me. I will need to raise this
Like
request
sir.
in the organization. Yeah, just something like that. Yes, SAP is an ERP. So that's just an
Yeah.
example. So until I fill this form, my line manager approve, it will not show on the finance side. So if as a analyst now you assume a work and they now give you a script or the diagram of the database of an ERP now, it is this ER diagram that will help you to know the flow of how it is working, right? Oh, this one is connecting to here. Oh, you cannot buy goods that is lesser than. So that's where it comes to it. That's why, like, if an employee resign from an organization tomorrow now, they only needs to delete his staff ID from their from their active database, and it's going to remove the employee from every place the employee is in the organization. And that's why I notice that anytime you resign from an organization, they don't mistakenly pay your salary again, because like, they will just put your name inside one place, and that place will remove that employee, maybe salary details or his name, or is going to remove it from those that are active. They can go and store that employee ID maybe in the list of resigned employee table, right? That's why I noticed that I don't know if you might have, some people might have resigned from an organization 5 years, 7 years, and the organization will call them back again. So these are things um, that works in the real world, right? So we have primary key. Primary key, I'm sure you already know primary key, foreign key. Am I right? You already know primary key and foreign key. Am I okay? Can I proceed? Am I speaking our mind? Or we do not know
Yes.
primary key and foreign key? Okay,
That's how it is.
awesome. So primary key is just a unique identifier that is peculiar to that table. Example, customer table. Now you have your customer ID. But that your customer ID in your sales table now becomes a foreign key, right? Let's say for example now I'm in fleet department, or I'm in sales department now. Whatever that makes me to appear in audit department now, I'm a foreigner in that department. So that's just way I try as much as possible to explain to people, right? It's just like you are from Nigeria now, you now go to UK, you are foreigner inside that place. So that's just like example of what? Of foreign key. Is it clear to us now? We have what we call auto increment. Auto increment is saying something around as much as record is coming inside your database, it will keep on giving it unique number. Like it will be doing the auto numbering 1, 2, 3. As much as you're having new records, it will keep on what? It will keep on going inside. Is auto increment clear to us now? I will show us in the when we start writing our query, when we start creating our tables very soon. We call character and string. Let's see, I'm sure you already know what is character. Character is just a single letter. How many character is Paul? 5 character, 6 character. That's what when we talk about what character, right? But when we talk about string is just like combination of all these characters. More than one, more than 5, more than 7, right? So we have a key character called variable character, which is what we call VACA. VACA is what we call what? Variable character. And variable character is more robust. Yeah, I think people use it more though, even though it has its own limitation. Because let's see it as what's an example I can call variable character for us now? It's just like a cell in our Excel that it can accept anything, maybe symbol, maybe sign, maybe alphanumeric key, and can accept it. Yes, that's just an example of what variable character. You can mix text and words together. Just like the way you have our count and count A. whereby count can only count number. Counter can even count if you are like you are number or your alphabet, I will count you together. That's just an example of what variable character is. Variable character can able to store numeric, it can able to store alphabets, it can able to store just like anything that you are storing as a variable character will be seen as string. So in case you declare data type now called variable character, if you put 5, it will go. But it is you that you are seeing it as a what? As a figure. But to the system is a string. Do you understand what I'm saying now, guys? Do you understand? Just like if you are writing number in Excel, you are putting inside double quotes. It's actually not a number anymore. It's actually seen as a string, or let me say a text. Is it clear to us? Is it clear to us, guys?
Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. And it has a length of 255. Yeah, so which means that when you know that you want to declare a variable character data type, and maybe for name or for address, you know that you have people that their address is glory be to God, Victory Estates, by the fourth, but the address is always long. Those kind of people, you put it here. And that is where, what is it called? I think it's still data validation, we call them, whereby you can reduce the number of characters that goes inside your database. Everything works hand in hand with whatever data type you are declaring. Example now is if you are declaring your data type to accept only 50 words. Now, by the time you be putting on validation to on the front end for your user, you must be able to let them know that sorry, you can only type in what 50 words, because why? The length of character that you program inside your database is 50. So both of them must work hand in hand. Don't go and say you can type 100 and your database will be accepting 50. That result will not go. It will be bouncing back. All right. But also let me just add, as an analyst as well, we will not be doing more of all these database design, database setup. We will not be doing it. What most we'll be doing is more of querying data, bringing data out, data that already existed. But some of us might, in our career, we might skill, maybe working with data engineering, working with ML engineering, and these are things that they'll be talking about. Not that data engineering will go and create data type for you now as a VACA, now sales amount as a VACA. Now you are running your Power BI, now you want to sum that sales amount, now it's throwing you error. It did not go. It's telling you like, sorry, you cannot sum that value. And you are going to your Power Query, you are seeing the value that this is 100, this is 200. Now, why is it I cannot sum? So that's it, that knowledge of all these things comes in to help us very well, right? We have another last one, which is called text. So text is being used generally when you want to talk around description, maybe you want people to describe, comments, give feedback to us, right? So I think comment is always long, yeah, than variable character. So people tends to use that data type. Is it clear? So these are various SQL commands that we have. Have you any questions so far? Hello.
Oh, no, not for now.
Okay, so we have various type of SQL commands. Yeah. So we have the DDL, which deals with data definition. So let's see DDL like laying the foundation, right? Anything that deals with talking around structure of our database. Let's have DDL like that. Then DML, let's have DML around manipulation, which means that the data is already inside, or data is already coming inside. We want data to come inside, or we want to manipulate the data inside, and I'll be sharing example gradually for us to understand, right? We have the data control language, we have the transaction control language, right? And let me start by saying data definition language. We have the alter, we have the create, we have the drop, we have the truncate, we have the comment. Yeah. So when you talk of create, maybe you want to create view, you want to create your database, you want to create table inside your database, you use this what? You use this create command to do it. You want to create a schema like I made mention of earlier. You use what we call what? Create to able to what? To be able to achieve that. We have what we call alter. Alter is maybe you didn't have a column before. Let's say for example, you've created a column of 5 now, maybe containing name, age, department, year of joining now, right? but you now needed more columns. Maybe the person borrow loan, so they want to put loan. Company give loan to staff, so they want to add that column now. You can't delete that table because you didn't add that particular column. You can alter that table such that if you're having 4 table now, you can add an extra column. Now make it 5. You use the alter to handle that, right? And also, if you know that, oh, I'm having 6 tables, oh, but I don't need 2 out of them again. I want to drop them back. You use the same words. You use the same alter to do it. Is it clear, guys? Are we together? Hmm?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it
We
is
have what
clear.
we call
It's clear.
drop. Drop is, oh, you want to delete. Let me just use that word called delete. Yeah, let me just use that word called delete so I can get it. Drop is just like, drop. You drop it off. You don't need it again. That's just what the meaning of drop is. Maybe the business is moving on to a new database now, and you've migrated the old data from the old table now. You can drop the database. You can drop everything that you've created inside that old database. You can delete it off. That's just where drops comes in. So mind you, wherever you are dropping a table, always ensure that you've moved all your records. And like I stated earlier, that there are some people that will have access to some limits in database. Make people no go delete the whole entire data transaction. Imagine make somebody delete the account balance that all of us have in Nigeria now. Just get to your bank account, just say 0 because one person at the back end deleted one person at the back end deleted the table containing bank balances, right? How do you want to prove to the bank that I have five, even if you have 1,000 naira in your account? How do you want to prove? Right? Except maybe if your last receipt is showing you balance like Stanbic. I think Stanbic does that. If you send money now, they will show you how much they deducted and how much that is left in your account, right? Something like that. But if not, somebody deleted bank balances table, what's the law? It has gone. Does something and we have rename, whereby you can rename a column, you can rename a database. And as an analyst too, we need to know how to rename a column. I've joined a new organization, right? I have to be calling every time. The guy has left for like 2 months. I also have to be calling him. Please, what is the meaning of this thing? What does this AA mean? What does this thing mean? What does this thing? Because the namings are not, they are not easily, how would I put it now? They are not easily for me to comprehend. I don't know if everybody get what I'm saying. Hmm? Hello.
Yes, yes,
So
yes,
that's
I
why
get
Yes.
that
what
as an analyst, wherever you are using a name, maybe you are creating a measure, you are creating a table, you are creating anything, you are creating a table, always use a name that people can see. And not that you would have resigned from a work 4 months, they will still be calling you. Please, where is the sales data? What's the name of the sheet? What is the people just use the deep name, abbreviation that you will never understand in your life, right? Don't let us be in that. Professionally, use a name everybody can get. Oh, date of purchase. Nobody will call you now that we need date of purchase. They just see date. Then they start asking you, is it date of purchase? Is it date of delivery? Because the naming is not straightforward enough, right? We have something called truncate. Truncate is just like deleting the entire record inside database. I think an assignment I'll give us is to read up the difference between truncate and delete. Yeah, so you can try to see the difference there. Yeah, our class can assist to take note of that assignment. Please let's do it to research on them. This is how we get ourselves familiar with query. It's not until we are writing 100 lines, 200 lines. These are the little things that we amplify our learning. Then we have comments. Comment is just like a note in your query. Just you are leaving a message. Just like, let's say for example now, I'm documenting my work. I can comment, oh, this is the query that extracted sales. This is the query that does this. This is the store procedure for this. So anybody that is taking that script will definitely understand, oh, this part to this part, this is what it's doing. This part to this part, this is what it's doing. So they will not come and be calling you to come and be explaining. Please, where is the query for this one? How do we know the query? Next, go to query line 100, go to query line 50, you will see it there, because such query is not well commented. You can comment your work, right? And I'll be showing us how to be How to be doing that as well. Next one I'll be moving on to is data manipulation. And like I said, either we are trying to get data inside our database or we are trying to manipulate or delete data that is already inside our system. And I'll try as much as possible to use example we can relate to. Select. Example of our select is you are logging in inside your social media now. You provide your username and your password, then which means that you now click what? Login. See, at the point of you clicking login, you are sending a query back to the engine that, oh, go and fetch this username and password. That's why I notice anytime you open your TikTok or your Instagram, it should always open your profile for you. It's not going to open Madam Yemisi account for me. Every details, every activities you'll be seeing, they will be peculiar to you. That's the work of select. Select is also when you are checking for your bank statement last month. You pick the start date and end it, then click submit. That's just what it's doing there. So anytime you are fetching a data from somewhere, oh, I want to say I'm doing last week, we want to retrieve a data back. And this is where analysts will be working more because you have to analyze data. You are not to generate data. So which means that the data is already in the database for us. So we'll be working more around select, where it is only female, where it is only female, where it is only boy, where it is only sales department, where it is only audit. That's more of what we'll be doing. Is it clear, guys? Do you understand the meaning of select? So anytime you are logging inside your social media now, you are requesting for that your bank statement, you are putting in your fingerprint, your password, your ATM, everything that you are doing now. So try to connect SQL to the things that you do daily. So by the time you do that, you understand how SQL works. Is that clear, guys? Is that clear, everybody?
Yes.
Hello. All
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
So next
Yeah.
one is insert. Insert is just like getting data inside the database. Fine, now you've created database, you've built your house. Now you are now moving there. You need to bring truck that will bring your load from your old house to put inside, or maybe you just buy fridge now. You just buy this, you'll be putting it, you'll be inserting it. That's just an example of what insert. Insert, an example of insert is when you are applying for a job online. You are inserting data inside the database. That's what they call most people after 2 months of application. And we saw your CV, be like, when did I apply to this company? When did I do it? Because well, you've already inserted data. You submitting your data to them means what? You've inserted your data. You are signing up on social media accounts. You are opening a bank account. You are even making new friends. When I say you are opening new friends, yeah, you are inserting data. Like you make new friends at a conference. What you are doing, just you are inserting the data. Select now comes in after 2 months. You now need this. I remember I met so person here. Then you go to your file, you go to your contacts. Thank God. Good afternoon, sir. I met you so. What you are doing at that stage now, you are selecting. But the point of you meeting that person is you are inserting data inside your what database. That's why I know that anytime you want to maybe borrow money, people like me, I borrow money very well because I don't have money. I will look, who is the person that can borrow me money? What I'm doing at that stage is what I'm selecting from where I've inserted. I'm just trying to make us to connect this thing to the real world, right? To for us to be able to connect to the world. So you are filling a form, you are enrolling for BVN, all those things you are doing, you are just inserting a record, right? Update comes in when you forgot your password now. You want to update your record now. They already have your record with them, but now you want to change maybe your location, you want to change your signature, or you are not receiving email alerts now, you want to be receiving email alerts. Then they ask you to submit your email. What you are doing is what you are updating your record. An example now is most of us that have been opening accounts. I think I opened my account in 20. I can't remember 2020 something when I gained admission into school. We were not using anything BVN or NIN that time. Then suddenly they asked us that we should go and enroll for BVN, that they need to add it to our account. What they are doing at that stage is what? They are updating it. They are what? They are updating our record. So let's say update as that means you forgot your password now. You do forget password. What you are doing is you are updating your record. The password that is dead and you're trying to say, oh, no, it's no more working. I need this new one there. So all you are doing is what? You are updating your record. Delete. Yes, a staff resign from an organization, they will delete his record, at least from the active payroll. Right? Like I said earlier, that some company call people back after 4 months, 5 months, 6 years, come and work back. So they don't delete employee data even if you resign completely. They will always have your data stored somewhere. So delete is also when you delete your social media account. Oh, pressure on Facebook is too much. Pressure on LinkedIn is too much. I don't need that account again. You can delete it, right? Delete account is also when you say, oh, I don't want to use Access Bank. Oh, I don't want to use GT Bank again. I want to close my bank account. That's an example of what we call what delete. Or maybe you have somebody like a friend on your list now. You can unfriend that person. What you are doing, you are deleting the person. Hello, please, are we getting all the explanation of what this database is? MySQL command, please.
Yes, but I want to ask, I really don't see much difference between insert and update. I don't know.
There is difference. So if you did not insert, you cannot select. Insert and update. There is difference now. Just that if you
The
in
insert, is it inserting? You said that is under data manipulation language. So that insert, is it inserting something afresh?
yes,
Okay. So then when you are
you cannot
updating,
update. I cannot have account with First Bank now and go there and say I want to update my address. Right?
update has to be existing.
Insert has to be in existence before you can update. I cannot have a TikTok account now. I say I want to go and change my profile picture. It's not possible. Abi?
Okay.
Yeah. So which means I must have signed up on the social media platform first before I can change my name or change my profile picture. Yeah. So we have what we call merge. Merge is when we are merging two or more tables together on certain condition. But that seems to be advanced part. Yeah, let me say an advanced part of it though. Let me say an advanced part of merge because the query is bigger. It's bigger. That's why you are trying to merge two tables from different sources and not together based on a query and say, oh, if this table has also value, or you want to merge two tables or three tables to one, something like that. So I can sync it. Okay, check my table one, check my table two. If what is inside my table one is not in my table two, then bring that value that is missing, then add it to table one. That's just how merge works, right? Explain. If you run your query now, you can ask the SQL engine to explain it for you, so you're able to see the longer time that it took, at what stage was the longer time. So a lot of things just to explain your queries and execution for you. So when it comes more like you want to do optimization of your query, now maybe your query is taking longer than expected. So you're able to see at what point it is, right? So and we have the DML is where we'll be working more, right? The DCL is more of the data control, whereby I was mentioning that you already have authentication and authorization, which is limit to what you can do. So if you cannot enter room A today now, they can grant you access to that room and say, okay, tomorrow you're able to open it. And if tomorrow say you can even able to open, they can say no, we revoke the access, which means that you cannot enter there again. That's just what data control language is saying. Just for you to grant access and revoke access, right? There are some room in organization that is your facial recognition that will be needed, and other people is only their staff ID card. They will just put at the door entrance, and the door will open. That's why any employee that have resigned, they will block your clock card or something they call. You cannot get entrance again. So that's just where how it comes into for an individual to control those that have access to data, right? That's just what it means, right? Commit. So commit, rollback, save point, set transaction. They are talking more of, should I say, a bit advanced of SQL. There's something we call acidic. Okay, acid operation. Yeah, that's where this side comes in. And these are the parts whereby you notice that you do transaction, the transaction fee, the money goes back to your account. Your account is naturally being debited. These are what that is being affected. But that anytime you do a transaction, maybe it's successful, the person will be credited and you'll be debited, then your account balance will remain the same. So these are just where this commit, throwback, save point comes in. So that just a little example I can give us so that I will not overwhelm us with too much introduction. Yeah, I think I've spoken around all this area already. Yeah. This is an example of HR structured database. Can we see it? This is how a database looks like. So let me pick somebody from the call to tell us. Let me pick somebody. Yeah, Mr. Femi, can you tell us the primary key? Can you tell us the primary key and foreign key inside this country table? Hello.
Hello?
Yes, can you tell me the primary key and foreign key inside that country table?
The
The primary key.
the primary key is the country ID. Then the
Okay,
foreign key is the region ID.
exactly. So that's yeah. So that's it. So this is how a database look like. This is an example of the ERD diagram. So this is just like a way that maybe you want to build your house now, and I want to draw the plan. How the room will be, which door will connect to which door. Can we enter sitting room for kitchen? Can I enter parlor to my room? Can I enter kitchen to the bedroom? So this is just how it looks like, right? Yeah. Okay. So these are all the fields, the terms I've been explaining is money. This is where they comes in. The term used in SQL database. Right. So we have our record, entity, tuple. Yeah, just for us to have an idea of pictorial diagram of everything I've been seeing since morning. So when we say fields, field can be maybe the employee name, it can be the gender, so just that field. So when you talk of record now, record is that entire person, everything about Paul that I was mentioning of, everything about Paul now, right? Is it clear, everybody? Is this picture help us to connect the terms that I've explained earlier now to the word? And on the right hand side there is where we have the ERD diagram, right? And we'll be creating our own too so that we're able to see it. Is it fine? Hello?
Yes, it's fine. It's fine.
All right. Okay, I think that's all. So before we move on to the practical part of it, any question from hello? Any
So do
question?
you have any question?
No question from my end.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I want to start my SQL server. Okay,
Please,
so
I want
this
to
is
ask you a question.
the
Sorry for that. Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Can hear you, Femi.
yes, I'm with
Okay,
you, sir.
my question is out of the
You can speak.
okay. I'm speaking already. So from the relational database management systems, if one, which one would you advise? Because I know SQL is the language is the same, only a little difference from MySQL to maybe Oracle and all that. But for someone who is just learning, some set of persons will work with maybe what they are using in their organization or something. But for someone who is just learning in general, which relational database management system would you advise one to start with?
Okay, is that your question? Okay,
Yes, that's
so
my question.
anyone, yeah, and the reason I'm saying anyone is because it's just like you learn the general language. And when it's come for, even when you learn SQL Server, even if you see opportunity that in a company that they are using Postgres or something self, because you already know SQL Server, you don't even find it difficult in utilizing or writing PostgreSQL. That's just it. SQL is just general, just little things. By the time we start writing, I have everything on my system. Postgres, so by very uninstall it. I have Postgres on my system before, but I don't know. I have Postgres on my. I should have Postgres now. Because there was a time I was writing it. I have my SQL too, because all those queries are things that I test. You can see, I have them, the three of them on my system, but they're all the same thing. Like, so I can just advise that you can just master SQL Server. It's okay, it's cool, and it's commonly used in organization, right? So that's just if that one you like is fine. Is that okay now? Is that fine? Mr. Femi don't go. We don't hear Mr. Femi again.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, I said that answer your question.
Yes, perfectly well.
Thank you. Okay, medicine is everywhere. So this is my SQL server. When you open your own, so this is what you have, right? And at this place here, this is where you can disconnect and connect your database. Like maybe you are done and you now want to log out. You don't want to leave your database open. You can disconnect it. So just click here to be disconnected. You can see now it's disconnected now. And I can connect back. Just click this plus. I can connect your database back, right? I will forward the links to get our own installed. So this is where you will refresh, just so that you normally refresh in our Power BI, in our SQL, Power Query. We always refresh, even our Excel too. Right? When you load your data from Power Query to Excel or to your Power Pivot, you need to refresh. Yeah, so we do it here. Refresh is there too. So we have our database here. So by default, these two always come with the system, by this system database and database snapshots. That default that comes with your database, but all these ones are the ones that you've created, that you've worked with. So like this one, these are the databases that I've created. So it's inside each of these databases. Now you see my table. So that brought me to explaining that schema to us. Can you see now? Yeah, now this is an example of tables with schema. So this production that you are seeing here now is a schema. Production is a schema. Where this bill of material now is a table inside that schema. Just like the way I said, maybe you have a room, they can partition it. So like this one to now inside this database now, we partition each inside that database and say, oh, this is the one for production, or this is the one for person. Because they do not want everything to be under the default schema. The default schema is DBO, right? Let me write a query so that we can, yeah. Let me write a query so that I can show us something, right? Let me write one using demo. So let me switch here. So don't worry. So I want to switch my demo. I will show us all these things just because I want to explain this schema to us so that I can understand. Yeah, so I want to create a schema now. I'll say schema, create schema. Let me call the name TT. Let me call the name schema TT. That's the name of the schema. Then I click OK. You can see I've created a schema called TT now. So we are going inside this my demo. How many people are with me? So I want to import data now. Let's say, for example, I want to import the data now. Right. Can you see now? I will see my schema here. Can you see now? Hello.
We are with you. We are following.
All right.
Yes,
So this
yes,
is the
can see.
schema that I've created now. So which means that if I click here now, any table that I'm bringing in now will be tt dot the table name. The table I'm created now will be under this schema. But by default, this is what you have in your SQL server. By default, everybody, you always have this DBO. That's why you notice that if you create a table in your SQL now, if you now want to create it again, you'll not be able to create it because the table already exists inside this schema, which is this our DBO, right? So that just to show us how schema works, right? So I'm not importing any table yet. We'll be doing that as we proceed, right? So let me drop this schema back. So just call the name drop. Like I told us earlier that I will be using drop, so I can just drop the schema back. So the schema does not exist again. So if I come here now, if I say import file now, which is our CSV file in Excel, so in case you're asking, you will not see, you can see now that it now is no more there again because I've dropped it. So just this default, which means that for every table you are creating inside your database, you must always have what? At least one schema. And I think there is a function too, but I won't be budging us yet. There's a function that can list all schema for us in a database, right? So this is our interface. So if I create a table, I create a database or anything or a view in my SQL, I will need to refresh. You can refresh here. This is your refresh. You can refresh at this point. You can refresh at your database level. You can see refresh. You can refresh at your table level too. You see refresh here. So anyone that suits you based on the order of their priority now, right? So you know how to refresh. So if you know that you're working on the database that is set now, I will not advise that you go and do this refresh from here because this refresh from here now will be refreshing for everything inside your database. Or everything inside your database engine. So you can just refresh only the part. Maybe it's table, is database. Just find the database and refresh. Find the table and refresh. Is that fine? Are we all good, guys?
Yes.
Hmm. So yeah, that brought me to here. So once you have a table, this is where you see all the tables that you have in your SQL, all the tables you have inside your DB. Yeah, let me use that term so I won't be confusing us. So you see all your tables here. So I have this table now. So from here, I can see all the columns that are inside that table. See, these are the columns. So let's see these columns like our column header in Excel, right? These are them. So these are the data type that I declare alongside with them. All those not null I was explaining to us. Yeah, this is where they come into play. So I can see the column. If I have a primary key is not in this one. So let me open this. I think this one here should have primary key. Yeah, you can see now this one has primary key, department ID, the primary key. So that is where you're able to see what the primary key that you have inside the table. So we have constraints. I've explained constraints to us too, right? So this is where you see all the constraints that you have in a table. So wherever you see anything DF means what? Default. If you see CK means check, something like that, right? But as we proceed, will be, that today is just an introduction, so we'll just be taking it gradually, right? So, what else can you see under this place? Is it here? Yeah, okay, trigger. We are not working with trigger, so we are not working with index of views, right? So you can rename your table manually, right? And there are queries that I will be giving us some of them as assignments though, so that we can practice them out. Right? You can rename your query here. You can rename your table rather. You can delete your table. That drop that I did that time, I can do it for this ones too. I can delete here too. You can see your design. Design is here. So in case peradventure maybe you want to change your data type manually, you can change them from this place. You can change your data type here. Can you see? You can change your data type from here, various ways. And once you are done, you can right click here. Because I did not make any change, assuming that I made the changes here now, this what's it called? This save department will have been active, but because there is no changes that was made, so that's why it's just inactive. Hello guys, are we together? Hey, we don't go.
Yes.
All right. So don't worry. We have a few minutes more to go, just like around 22 minutes more. So I think this is the basis and all that I feel we need to understand about our environment, right? If you want to do some settings to your query, you can come to, where is this place self? Maybe you want to change some color, you want it to be big. Yeah, I think I can go to under option. Yeah, so this is like the engine room. So you can change the color, the red, how you want it to be. You can play around and be careful too. Don't go and call me and say, I don't know what I press. How do you not expect me to know what you press? When you that you are pressing it, did not know. Means I did not know. So this is the way you can change the color if you don't like the color. So lot of things like you can change the color. And see now I'm just trying to show us something. So that one should change the interface, right? So now we've seen everything. I now want to begin writing our query. How do we now start? Right? Any question, guys? Which area do you feel like you need question that you want to ask me? Yeah, let me answer. Is the interface okay for us? Is the introduction to interface very friendly for us, guys? Hello? We are not talking. Are we okay? Are we good?
Yeah.
I think we have like 3 or 4 in class. So when I'm not getting response from people, I always say maybe we are tired. Maybe we should call it a day. So next is I want to start writing my query now. I'm going to click a new query here. Right. So by the time you click here, you want to start writing your query, you see your active database here. This is where you see all the database that you have. So if I venture now, you've created the database before, you now want to switch to it. You can do it 2 ways. Either use this function I'm calling called use. Then let me switch to this one called AdelaDB here. Can bring this AdelaDB here, then run it. Sorry. How did I bring system back? Problem. How did I bring this thing? Yes, if. Okay, so it's not even it's still not magnetic. I don't know. I don't know how I get here. I don't know, sha, but let's follow. So I can use this function to select my database. Can you see now this database has changed? So you can either come to this place and select the database yourself. Right, select it manually from here, or you write that query that I wrote to get it done. I'm trying to know I can fix this thing. I don't know what I did though. God will help us. I don't know. But let's continue. Does not affect the work I'm doing, sha. So that's I can change your database. So let's start gradually now. We are entering to the practical side of our class. I want to create my database now. Call the name create. Yeah, SQL is not insensitive. So either way that you write it. Database. What do I want to create? I'm going to call the name database. I'm going to call the name analytics post. Right. Yeah, I click create. So if your query runs successfully, this is what you see. How many people are on the call? Hello? Are we still together? All right.
Yeah.
So if your query went successful, this is what you see. Let's say, for example, now intentionally put something like this here now. It should throw an error. So all those errors, let me minimize it back. All those errors are what you now use to decode your error. Oh, I don't know. How did I get to this stage? I don't know where I put. I don't know. How did I put this? Don't even know. Maybe I will restart this. I will restart this SQL server again, guys. So I've created that database now. But if you come here, in case your database is not showing here, yeah, you can see that analytics boost that I created now is not showing here. Who can tell us what did I need to do for it to show? Who can tell me what I need to do for it to show. Hello, yeah, somebody should tell me now.
Click on that plug.
This one.
Yes.
Okay. So I've clicked it, say I should connect, then I've connect. But still it's not showing ma. So what happened?
I think you need to refresh.
Okay. So how will I refresh ma? Tell me.
The refresh button up there. The blue one.
Okay. So click here now. I come back here. You can see now it's not showing now. So this is how to go about it. And sometimes if your system is speeding up, right? I think sometimes when I'm working, when I create database, it automatically gets refresh itself. So depend on the system or server for the database engine that will determine how everything's going to work out. Right. Okay. So I'm trying to see if I can fix this thing that I'm having issue with now. Okay. Okay, I think I can fix it now because that is really annoying. I think I can fix it now. We are back now. Something when you get out, no wise password. So once I have created my database now, what I need to do next is what? To switch to it. You can see that if I'm creating any table now, my table will be going to inside this existing database, or let me say the active or current database. So I need to switch to this one. Then what will I need to do? Either I write my query or I come inside this place and I click analytics boost here, right? Can you see now? It's now active. Or let me go back to here and select another database. Let me select this one, for example. Then I come here. I use what we call. No, I will forward this query to us. So we have the query, right? We use, yeah, so I have this. So let's watch here. Let's watch this, please. I'm moving my mouse. So, and I run it. Can you see that it has changed? So, and also what I want to show us again, you can be saving all your queries so that when you need it in future, you can easily go back there. So I can save this one that I'm working with, and I can say save. I want to save this SQL file I'm working with. I can say save. Can you see? Save. So these are all the SQL scripts that I've worked with, that I've kept them. You can see. So you can save your own. I will save this my own as analytics boost here, right? Then click save. Your own can be any name or any name that I can know that I can remember. So me, I love to just use a name that I can remember based on the event. So click OK. So if my eventually we are meeting next week now, I'll just go and open that file. Go to my file, go to open. I'm going to click file. So from this file now, I'll be able to see all my queries. So I can be able to open any one. Maybe I want to open this one now. I'll be able to open it. Then continue my query. Is that clear, everybody? Is that clear to us all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So next thing I need to do now is, let me show us how to comment too. Like I told us earlier, the comment is just like labeling your work. So I can say here now, comment on a single line. We have various type. We have to type single line and let me call it multi-line, or multi-statement. A single query like this. This is what we call statements. Borrow term from programming, right? Anywhere your query ends, that's a single statement. So this one too, a single statement on it. So, although you might not be getting, you might not be needing them, but just for you to be aware that when they're talking like my statement, your SQL statement, your Kinikon is wrong. This is the part that they are referring to. So I want to comment on a single line. I can say creating a database called, yeah, this I've commented here now. Can you see now? Anywhere you are commenting now, you see it always appear like color green. And let's say, for example, I have multiple rows that I want to comment, multiple words, multiple rows. So let's, for example, and I've not created drop. Okay, let me create another one here. Drop, let's say, for example, drop database, narrative boosts, right? So one year down, and again, I'm not saying create database. Just for example, I'm just showing us multiple ones. So I'm not actually deleting it. So multiple one comes here by saying asterisk sign. Yeah. Then I can come here, put my. I think am I writing it very well? I think the slash sign should come first. Hmm. Yeah, can you see now? Everywhere is now what? Everywhere is now green now. Can you see now? Something that was showing like color blue before. Can you see the difference? Can you see the difference now? But because I already asterisk now, it's not the same. So this is how you can comment on the multiple. That means that if I'm having roll up to my level 100 now, I just need to put this thing starts and this thing to the end of those lines. Those are the areas that will that's going to be commented. Are we okay, guys? If it clear to us all.
Yes.
Any question? Okay, let me check the time. We are proceeding. Okay, just 9 minutes more. So let's create a table. So from there, we'll move on next week. So I want to create a table. Create. I'm going to specify table. What am I creating? Because it can be database, it can be view. What I'm creating is a table. The next thing is the table name. Then let's say student table. So my people love to add TBL to their name, right? But if anyone wants to do in our own, it's fine. Some people add it to the beginning, like this TBL. Depending on any style that you have, there is no adopted, but just ensure that you are using a name that is easier for you to remember, your team can understand. It's very key because that headache I suffer in my life. Even till now, so you see some people, they don't understand all the name of the or the measure that they created. Sales Kinecon, you have to be calling them, please, what's the sales measure that you use here? What is the measure of this, right? So once you want to write your query for creation, I advise people to always open and close brackets immediately. Then put your semicolon. Though the semicolon is not a must though, but professionally, let's always put it there, right? So next thing is you want to create, then I'm going to say, what I want to create first? I need to create my ID, my student ID, maybe capital letter, followed by the data type. I've taught us the data type, integer. So if that table is going to be primary key now, I'm going to call it primary key. This is how you create it as primary key now, right? So once it's who can tell us the features of primary key? Let me see, let me test our knowledge of Power BI. What are the features of a primary key, guys? Of a primary key column? What are the features of a primary key columns? Hello, nobody is responding. Okay, let me proceed. So yeah, I can do something like this primary key. If it's primary key though, you call the name primary key. If I'm creating another one, maybe name, I can say vaca. I can call the name 50, which means that this will be accepting 50 characters, right? So I need to put comma here after my first statement. So this place now, if I want to add any constraints like say not null, which my student must fill a name. If it not fill a name, you cannot submit. Then I'm going to say not null. So this place is not null. Then I can run this query now. Then I'm going to come to this execute. I think there is a shortcut or F5. So I'm pressing F5. I mean, can you see now? I press F5 on my system, it ran. So if I run it again now, can you see now? This is where the DBO is coming that I was explaining to us. There is already an object named student in the database, which means that this database name that I'm creating automatically goes inside the default one. So if I want to create a table now that is called student again, it has to be in another schema. Hello guys, are we all clear? Are we all good? So if I come inside this place now, let's maybe we see our table that I've created here now. Can you see now? The table is now here now. This is our student table now. So let's say, for example, now I want to inspect our record now inside this student database now. Then I can come here, I can create a comment here saying creating student table. Then I can come here and say I want to see the content inside that table, and that's where the select comes. Just like you are selecting your bank statement now. Select star. Wherever you see me using select star means that I'm selecting all the columns inside that my table. Right? So can tell us the columns that we have inside that table. Oh, hello. Nobody is responding. Right. Select star.
Yeah, can hear you. You
I
don't know
know you can hear me.
the
It's the
answer.
question that I asked. That will let me know if you are here or not. If you not respond, we are not here with that. So students, then I can highlight it. Always highlight the query that you want to execute. Then I click OK. Can you see now? So these are only the two words in the two columns that I have. So I just inspected it. So if I eventually only want to select, maybe I only want to see the ID. I can say select ID. Can you see now? So ID. So I'm only selecting the ID inside that column. So if I put it in capital letters, select ID. I think it should give me also in capital letters. So yes. So that's it. That's how it works. That way. Yeah. Any question, guys? Any question? So let me take the 4 minutes for us to ask a question in any area that is not clear to us. Are we all clear? Guys, are we all clear with it? Hello? Are we all clear? Okay. All right,
Yes.
thank you. All right. Wakladis will be dropping the curtain today. So by next class Saturday we'll be inserting record, we'll be creating more tables, more rows, and we'll be practicing, right? To be able to import data and work with a flat file. Yeah, this is where we'll be dropping the curtain today. Thank you everyone. See us next week. Bye bye.
All right, thank you. So the link
Thank
to
you.
download the
Yeah.
the SQL server, please can you help us drop it?
Yes,
Can you
yes,
maybe you
yes,
can send
yes.
it to me, or I also added you to the
Yeah,
group. So
yeah,
is
I'll
it that you
share.
drop it in the group?
I will. All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
All
So
right,
guys,
thank
see you
you.
guys next week. Next week, Saturday.
Thank you.